It's about time.
A very good evening. I'm Brian Banda, tonight with yet another edition of Times Exclusive here on Times Network. The program is coming to you tonight courtesy of Rainbow Paints.
Wow, I think K-Peach looks amazing on the door.
The electric blue cuts it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, ochre sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
My guest tonight is His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Muthalika, President of the Democratic Progressive Party and now a candidate after the convention of 2024 endorsed him as the candidate of the party for the 2025 elections. His Excellency President Muthalika served this country for 6 years. I'm profoundly honored to host him yet again in this edition of the program. Your Excellency, thank you very much for joining us and welcome.
You're welcome. Let me welcome you again.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Good.
And we look forward to these candid conversations.
It's always a pleasure to have you here too.
We have just finished a convention where the party endorsed you as its candidate for 2025.
Yes.
Why did you not have anyone competing with you?
That's interesting. I don't know why. Obviously, we made it very, very clear that every position in the party was open. But as you know, about 24 positions were not contested for. I don't know why. I can't explain that. But it wasn't only my position, but 23 other positions that also were not contested. So I don't know the reason for that.
Is it not your own making? Because before, there were people who were aspiring to be candidates for this particular party.
Correct.
Is it not your own making that those people were frustrated and they gave up those ambitions?
I don't know.
What comes to my mind is Bright in Saka and others, Muthalika, George Shaponda, and others who were almost campaigning to be the torchbearer for the party.
That's right. They were campaigning.
They were.
Until the time when I finally agreed that I was going to stand after, as you know, those requests from people for over a year. I finally agreed that I was going to stand. And that's what happened. So it may well be, when I said that I was going to stand, the other people maybe decided that they were not going to challenge me, but I never asked them to withdraw. And they never withdrew from the race. So I was very surprised myself to see that nobody came forward to contest, to challenge me.
Do you think there is anyone in the party who can be bold enough to stand against you?
I don't see why not.
Because people regard you as the father in the party. In other words, people fear you. And that's why people chickened out when they saw that you were running.
Well, I very much appreciate that the party views me that way, as their father, the father of the party. And somebody who has nourished the party. I appreciate that very much. I'm very, very grateful that the party still has confidence in me. I've been leader of this party now for 12 years, and they have supported me. This is my third election as the president of the party, 2014, 2018, and now 2024. I'm very grateful. As I said at the convention, yes, I am. I really am. Yeah.
The convention was held under the theme, a return to proved leadership. Which leadership?
Leadership of the party, of the DPP, our leadership, the leadership we have demonstrated since 2005. All the 4 elections in the past, and how our government managed 2009 to 2012, and then 2014 to 2020. That's the leadership we're talking about, people-centered leadership, leadership with a sense of direction, and I think a leadership that was trying to build this country and make it move forward. I think that's what we're talking about, that we need to go back to that kind of leadership, which is foresighted and has a sense of direction. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but you and me, we have talked about that kind of leadership, that
Yes.
there were reservations.
Right.
There were things that were not done properly.
Yes.
The people of this country went on the streets demonstrating against your leadership. And you want people to go back to that kind of leadership. That's why I ask, what kind of leadership are you referring to?
But it wasn't the people. The people voted for us overwhelmingly. We got almost close to 40% of the votes. We defeated everybody, including Mali Congress Party, UTM, and the others. So the people were supporting us. That is in 2018. What I talk about the demonstrations, it was simply the work of some people, Mali Congress Party, of course, through the HRDC,
Yeah.
the Ntambos, the Trappies, Sembereka, and those kinds of people. They're the ones who started the campaign, a vicious campaign, against the chairperson of the Malay Electoral Commission. Of course, that was a ruse. They really demonstrated against me, not against Jane Ansah. They said that it wasn't the people, but they managed to manipulate the people. So it's not right to say that all the people in this country were against me and the DPP. I don't think so. I really don't.
There were things that people of this country were not comfortable
Yes.
under your leadership.
Okay? Like what?
We have talked about it. Corruption, impunity of all sorts. We talked about this in our earlier interviews.
Before, but you see, as I said last time,
Yeah.
where is the corruption? They have investigated us, all of us, for 4 years. They haven't found any single one case of corruption. Why haven't they prosecuted us if in fact we were corrupt?
So your government was not corrupt.
No, it wasn't. That's all I know. It wasn't.
So
Can you find any cases of corruption? Can you think of any yourself?
yes,
Which one?
the cement gate, for example.
The
was-
cement case had nothing to do with corruption. A cement case was not corruption. Do you know what corruption is? Corruption is getting a benefit of some kind in return for some kind of favor. That's corruption. The cement thing, we have gone through this before.
Yes.
And you have seen the paper yesterday that they have now withdrawn the case against the Chunaras, the two Asian business people who are importing cement. That was a case, obviously. These people took advantage and used my tipping tax identification number without my knowledge to order that cement. I don't think that's necessarily corruption. I think it's more of a breach of the law, really.
So it was
or evading taxes, tax evasion. I think that's what it was. And he said it was on my part, it was them. I had not, as you all know, I had nothing to do with it. So I don't know why you people keep on saying that the cement case was an example of corruption. Find a better case. You can't find a better one.
We should find a better case?
Yes, find a better case.
So all those people who are saying that your government was corrupt, they may not have evidence? Is that what you're telling us?
They don't have any evidence. Because the ASB investigated us, investigated all these years, and they found nothing. Nothing.
So why were your accounts closed then?
That's what I don't understand why. I don't know why they were closed, because there was absolutely no connection between my accounts and the importation of cement. I didn't order the cement, I didn't pay for it. There was absolutely no connection. I think there was simply abuse of power. It was. They finally unfroze them. There was absolutely no connection whatsoever between the cement and my account. All the money in my account was legitimately earned. So it was abuse of power. That's what it was. And irresponsible on the part of the SCB.
So you want to tell us that you run a clean government?
Yes, as far as I know, yes.
As far as you know?
As far as I know. Now, if there are some individuals who have been corrupt, I have no idea. As we discussed last time, I cannot oversee everybody in the government. There are so many people under you, ministers, civil servants, parastatals, all sorts of people, part of our administration. I cannot know what everyone is doing. But as far as I'm concerned, I was not engaged in corruption. And my government, as far as I know, my ministers and others were not involved in corruption.
There were so many.
They have not been able to.
There were so many stories, corrupt in nature, published by the Times and other newspapers.
Like which one?
There were so many, so many.
But you know the Times.
Yeah.
You know the Times. You people in the Times.
Yes.
Were on a vicious campaign against me and the DPP. I think you were working for somebody else. I think you were working for maybe the Malay Congress Party or opposition. So you had all those stories, which are complete nonsense. You remember the story about the 7 rotten ministers?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
That was manufactured by somebody from Times. Someone from Times, I won't mention his name.
Okay.
But someone from Times, a vicious person, he's the one who manufactured, there were 7 rotten ministers. There was none. They never found any 7 rotten ministers.
Who was manufacturing this?
Somebody from Times. I think you know who is.
No, I don't know.
Wow.
For those that are watching us,
find out.
You better mention.
Find out. The story came from somebody from Times, from your organization.
Yeah, but you know
about that there are 7 corrupt ministers, 7 rotten ministers. That's the term they use.
Yes.
It came from your organization.
But the Times Group is a very professional media institution. And to level those allegations against Times, it may not be fair, Your Excellency.
Not allegations. I'm saying that the story comes there.
Okay.
Do you remember the hot currents?
Yes.
Do you remember what Times was doing?
Yes.
It was one of the most vicious programs in this country. Everyone knows that. Totally unjustified. I think you own it sometimes also. You own that program.
Yes.
Hot current.
Yeah.
Totally unfair. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So do you have a person in mind who could have been against you?
I have no idea. But I'm just so surprised that all these things were coming from the Times, not from the nation.
Okay.
The nation was not attacking me as much as you people in the Times were doing. I don't know why. Maybe they have a grudge against me. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. But that's what happened there.
So all those stories, we want to close on that matter, we are not true.
Which stories?
For example, the one that you have referred to.
About the 7 rotten ministers?
Yes.
Of course they're not true.
Okay.
But we asked them to name the 7 rotten ministers. They never did. And it turned out it was false. It was just purely something that was fabricated.
But I just also wanted to put it on record that Times is a independent, professional media institution. It doesn't get orders from anyone. I just want to put that on the record. You might have maybe an issue with someone who worked at Times who probably did not like you. But I think we wanted to separate that.
Okay. I'm glad you're professional. I think it's getting better now. I think it's better than that time.
Yeah.
Certainly I cannot say the hot current was not professional. It was absolutely, if ever there was something unprofessional, it was that program, Hot Current,
okay,
which you were on that program at some point. It was completely and professional.
Okay.
So now I'm glad that you are now becoming more professional, and I want to congratulate you for that.
Thank you very much. Now we are now speaking the same language.
You are welcome.
You talked about Jane Ansah, the former chair of the Malawi Electoral Commission.
Yes.
Despite the cause at that particular time that she should resign, you insisted that she should not resign.
Correct.
Years later, she appears at your national convention claiming to be a member of your party.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
We talked to her at the convention.
Oh, really?
And she said that she's now a member of the Democratic Progressive Party. She joined the party 3 months ago, and she's running for a member of parliament in Incheo.
Yeah, that part I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think it's a proper thing to do, considering where we are coming from?
To do what?
To be partisan.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
The question is...
Who is being partisan? Jane Ansah?
Yeah, Jane Ansah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you have to ask her.
I wanted to hear your views on the same.
Don't ask me. I can't speak for her.
Did she come to you to say she wants to join the Democratic Progressive Party?
She didn't. In fact, this is the first time hearing that she has joined the DPP. I was aware of that. We invited her as a former chair of the Malawi Electoral Commission. That's why she was invited in that capacity. As former chair of the commission, just like we invited the diplomats, people from the faith community, from CSOs, and other political parties. So she invited in that capacity, not as a candidate for parliament. And this is the first time I'm hearing that she has actually joined the DPP.
She told me that she has joined the DPP.
Okay.
But do you think the optics are looking right, considering where we are coming from? Would people be correct to say that she favored DPP in those elections?
Well, she was a member then. She has joined the party now. As I just said, she was a member of the DPP then. So how could she favor the DPP?
It's a question that I wanted you to answer.
No. I'm saying, how did she favor the DPP? I don't understand the question.
The question is very clear. This is someone who was a referee in an election.
Yes.
5 years later, she declares that she's a member of your party. Did you benefit in any way from her as chair of the Malawi Electoral Commission?
Oh, of course not. Obviously, she was not a member of the political party. But people do change. You have people who were one time ministers and preachers or clergymen, and they decide to go into politics. We have people who have been judges, and they decide to go into politics. We have people who are academics or business people, they decide to go into politics. Those are personal decisions people make about their own lives. I don't see what the problem is. I just don't say. I think I've got you completely wrong to even surmise or imply that there's something wrong about somebody changing their career into another one if they want to serve in order to serve this country. I don't see what's wrong with that at all. I really don't.
We saw the presence of the United Democratic Front, UTM, and AFOD. At the convention.
Yeah.
What should we read, us watching from a distance?
No, we just invited them. We invited all political parties, and we invited various groups. We invited the churches, Catholic Church. We invited civil society organizations. We invited the diplomatic community. We invited all people. They're all part of Malawi political structure, and we invited them to witness what we're doing. That's all. And we have done that before, actually. This was the first time. It's not very normal. It happens elsewhere. It's just in this country that people see that when there are different political parties, you see each other as enemies, not competitors. So that's a problem. We want to get over that. So we invited all political parties.
In your speech, Your Excellency, you said that President Chakwera and his government have failed, and you quoted a verse in the Bible, and that his kingdom is going to be divided by these 3 or 4 political parties. What point were you driving home?
What point was I what?
What point were you driving home?
No, I was quoting the Bible. That I'm very fond of that particular one, Daniel 5 verse 25, and then it says there in the end, it says that your kingdom will be divided between the Medes and the Persians.
Yeah.
Made in the Upper Sea in Chichewa.
Yeah.
So what I was saying was that to complete the narrative, that's why I say that after that your kingdom has failed. Maestro Pamieso, Mapeso Mapea, Ufuan Gawida, Apakatipa, DPP, UDF. The moment I put it, as narrative, I'm going to get a banner, but couldn't demand is a version.
Yeah.
That's all. There was no implication. Mafuni demand is a version, good enough. Narrative in Saimisia, Ibidom Kumapeto, Kudufuan Gawida, Pakatipa. DPP, MCP, no, I'm sorry, DPP, UDF, Afford, and UTM. That was all really. There was nothing to it really.
Not Kuti Mukambirana.
No. No. As I told last time, that we even the other political parties have said the same. I know Mr. Chihana has said that they are going on their own. I think UDF has said the same thing. I know UTM last week, I think the publicity secretary there said the same thing, that they are going on their own. At the moment, that they have no intention or they have no thoughts of actually partnering with somebody else. And we have said the same thing because we know, according to our survey, and that's a very professional survey, that if elections were held today, with all the political parties, would get about, I think it's 57.9%.
The Democratic Progressive Party?
The DPP on its one, yeah. And this is a very credible survey, then done by really, really serious professionals. That's what's on the ground there, and I believe it's accurate. So we can, in fact, win on our own. Whether there will be alliances or not, that's for the future. We'll see. The campaign hasn't even started. Some of these parties have not even had conventions. I mean, the parties in opposition except us. The others haven't yet had their conventions.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of leadership comes out of those conventions, and then what their thoughts are about the possible cooperation, alliances, and so forth. You know, in 2020, we partnered with UDF, you remember that?
Yeah.
So, you know, it depends on the dynamics at a given time, whether you should partner and who you should partner with and on what conditions. All those are things that you have to decide as the political landscape develops in the next several months.
You came on that podium during the convention, energetic, full of confidence that you win 2025 polls.
Correct.
Where are you getting that confidence?
I'm getting confidence because I think over our record, I think people know the kind of problems that the country is facing. The country is also moved towards self-destruction. It's there. It's obvious. You know, the hunger, the bad economy, the poverty, all those things, the oppression that's taking place now, the violence, all those kinds of things. I don't think that's what Malawians want, really. I think what Malawians wanted in 1994, 93, 94, when they opted for multi-party democracy, that's now being reversed. It's clear it's not being reversed. I don't think Malawians want to go back to the 31 years of one person or one party rule. I don't think so. Malawians who chose freedom, personal liberty, democracy, and economic justice. I really think so. That's what Malawians opts. We'll tell our story. We'll go to the people. We'll explain to them what our agenda is, and our thoughts about this country, and what our record was, and let them make a choice. If they make the same bad choice as they did before, that's too bad. It's about them. But I assume that after what people have gone through in the last 4 years, this time, I think people have grown wiser, I think, and I think they'll vote wisely and responsibly than they did last time, 2020.
Munatsekulira nsonkhano mwamphamvu
Yeah.
anthu anayamba kuvota chifukwa chani simudabwere kudzatseka nsonkhano?
Oh, mukananira chairman, parai zina zake there was an urgent matter. Nagwizana kuti ndisabwerere to complete the assignment that I had, and then I gave my speech in Apasa speaker and but that's what it was. I don't really know why people, and it's not our people at DPP, most of the people from the other side, I don't know why they're so concerned about it. Makes it a big thing. Is there a law that if you open a conference, you must close it? Can't you ask somebody? Can't you delegate somebody?
Yeah, this was one of your most important functions.
It was.
Where the candidates,
Yes.
Where the party was endorsing you
Correct.
as its torchbearer.
Correct.
And certainly there was no better or other important functions than to be at this
I don't think so.
convention.
I'm telling you that there was an emergency.
What emergency? Your
I
Excellency?
can't tell that.
You can tell us?
I don't have to tell that. Well, no, do I have to tell anybody in this country?
Then you can tell me.
No, not at all.
You can tell me?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because
Skipping-
you have no right to it.
Okay.
There's no. I don't owe you any explanation.
What about your
for what I
what
did.
about your followers, the DPP followers,
Yeah.
who were waiting for you on that Monday
Yeah.
at Comesa Hall to close your very own convention?
Oh, they're waiting for me?
Yes, because the program showed that you would come and close the function.
That's right.
And you didn't show up.
That's right. As I've told before, that the chairman released me, I think about 5 o'clock. We waited, they were going to vote, they started about 3 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, they had not even started yet.
Yes.
And it looked like it was going to take a very long time. So the chairman asked me that maybe it was important that I leave, and then they'll call me later when they were completed.
Yeah.
And so it went on until very, very late. And then by the time he called me, I think it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, there was another matter that was involved. So I told the chairman that, look, well, this situation, can I delegate you to do this? And the chairman said yes. And he did that. But that's what, but if somebody doesn't like it, it's too bad, I'm sorry. But I'm not going to apologize to anybody. Because there was an important matter, and this is such a trivial matter to begin with anyway. It's pettiness. The trouble in this country, Brian,
Yes.
is that we dwell so much on petty things. On petty things that don't really matter. I don't think it matters whether somebody closes a meeting or not, or whether somebody delegates a meeting or not. People delegate things. The president delegates even important things, trips and those kinds. It happens all the time elsewhere in the world. It's only in this country. It's only in this country. Whatever somebody does is a problem. Simple things are magnified, trivial things are magnified. I think it's wrong. We are wasting so much time on trivia. And this thing is so trivial. And nobody in the DPP is complaining about this. Nobody. Not a single person. It's only people from outside. People like yourself and all those other people out there.
No, my
Who
job is to ask questions. I'm not complaining.
You seem to feel like maybe you're
No, Your Excellency, I'm not involved. But I'm just saying, it didn't look right.
No,
This was your.
You know what?
Let me finish.
You know what? This is so trivial.
Yeah.
I think let's close the discussion because it's really trivial. This thing is very trivial. is pointless. It's pointless. I delegated, and I have a right to delegate any function. When I was president, I was delegating some very important functions. I was delegating important functions. And this one I delegated to the chairman, who is a very, very able person, and he ably closed the convention. Everyone was very happy about it. A vote of thanks was given. So I don't know what your problem and what other people is.
I think you should not include me.
It's not my problem.
But anyway, we'll leave it there as you have rightly said. And
I think let's put it to rest, and let's not bring it about again.
We are not going to bring it again.
Because I think it's a waste of time. It really is. We had a very important convention, very successful, and I think some people are trying to disparage the convention by bringing all these kind of silly things and so forth. I don't know why. People are unhappy. I think people are unhappy because they thought that we would not be able to do a convention. And this, for me, is the best convention in our party. I've ever attended our 35th conventions starting in 2004. This was by far the best convention. It was very successful. And that's what happened. So let's not spoil it by bringing, trivial things like the fact that I delegated the closing to somebody else. It's a trivial matter. So let's put it aside.
We'll put it aside.
Very good.
And allow us to take a short break.
Very good. All right.
Thank you very much. In case you're just joining us, this is Times exclusive, airing on Times Network. Tonight, I'm joined by His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Muthalika, former President of the Republic of Malawi and President of the Democratic Progressive Party, who has just been endorsed by the 2024 convention to be the torchbearer for the party for the coming 2025 polls. Tonight, the program is coming to you courtesy of Rainbow Paints. We'll hear from them and we'll continue thereafter my conversation with His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Muthalika.
Wow, I think K-Pitch looks amazing on the door.
The electric blue cuts it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
This is Times exclusive on Times Network. In case you're just joining us, this is now part 2 and our final part for the conversation that I'm having tonight with His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Muthalika, former President of the Republic of Malawi and DPP torchbearer for the 2024 presidential elections. Welcome back, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
There are others out there still worried that at 84 you may find the campaign tiring. We have discussed this before.
I know.
But this issue keeps on coming.
I know.
What assurances would you give me and the people watching us tonight that you are up to the game in as far as campaigning is concerned?
Now, first, let me say that this concern is really coming from our enemies, not our party. The party, they know that I'm 84 years old, and they still ask me to come back. You know the whole story the past year.
Yeah.
They knew that. So the people who are saying this are not people from DPP. It's people from the opposite camp, simply because they're afraid of my candidacy. That's what it's all about. They're afraid of that. So let me say that. Now, coming back to assure people, well, obviously I cannot assure people about the future.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what will happen 5 minutes from now.
Yeah.
All of us could drop dead 5 minutes from now.
Yeah.
But as I told you last time, at the moment I feel very strong. Absolutely no problem.
Why do you think...
Physically and mentally, absolutely no problem. I can compete with anybody. Physically and mentally, anybody of any age. So I feel fine. But what the future brings, I don't know. As I said to you before, at the Page House, that if I reach a point where I know that I cannot physically, mentally do a campaign or run the government, I'll resign. As I said before, I have absolutely no intention of embarrassing myself or my family. Absolutely no intention. I will discuss all these things with my family, and they all agree to support me, but I have absolutely no intention of embarrassing myself if I feel I cannot do it. I agreed to do it. I thought through very clearly, and I was convinced that I can do it. I didn't say I feel very strong as I did before, both physically and mentally. So I really have no problem. But, you know, on this age thing, have you heard of somebody called Lucius Secretarius Cisnatus? Have you heard of that person?
No.
I've never heard of him. He was a Roman general in 1458 BC. At that time, Rome was under severe attack from enemies, and Rome, then it was a republic, and Rome was about to be destroyed. All the generals, all the young generals, failed. They could not defend Rome. So the people, the Senate, passed a resolution and invited this gentleman, Lucius Secretarius Cisnatus, who was a retired farmer outside Rome. He came, agreed, took over the army, and within 16 days, Rome was saved. The enemy was defeated. 16 days. The other generals have been fighting for 4 years. For 16 days, he defeated Rome. And the people were so grateful that they wanted to make him a dictator. He refused. He went back to his farm. Do you know how old he was? He was 89. He was 89 years old. You can check it. You can Google it.
So you are our own senator?
That's right. So what I'm saying,
yes.
What I'm saying is that, you know, each person is different. Each person is different, and obviously this man was able to do what the younger generals could not do because of his physical and mental abilities. So it depends on the person. In any event, I don't really understand why the people in the other camp, it's other people in the other camp.
Okay.
Because my party asked me to come back and endorse me. So there's no problems with that. It's the opposition, the stuff from my Congress party, who are starting this kind of thing. You see some of the writings by some of the hired people. You saw the articles in Nyasa Times and so. You see, it's them. Now, why are they so concerned about it? Why are they so concerned about my age? Why?
Because at 84,
yes.
the president of the United States,
yes.
Joe Biden,
yes.
has given up, and he's only 83.
That's right. He has given up because obviously I think there are some problems there.
Okay.
But what I'm asking you is why are they so concerned about it? Because the people, my supporters,
yeah.
the people in the DPP are not concerned. But it's the people in the opposite camp who are concerned about my age. Why? What's their problem? Since when were they concerned about my welfare? Since when? They've never wished me well before. Why are they so concerned about me now? It's simply because they don't want me in the race. Because they know I get in there, they're out. I can assure you this. We'll confirm this in September, on September 17th. I'm in that race, they're out. They'll be defeated. I can assure you that. And they know it.
They know it?
Oh, yes, they know. Oh, they know. And that's why they're trying to do all this rigging and so forth with mumbo-jumbo registration nonsense they're doing now. That's the only way they can win. Because they know state fight, they can't win. Never. They can't win. And in 4 fights, I've beaten them 2014, 2016, 2018, 2020. Me and MCB, I've beaten them each time by over 5% margin. And they know it. And nothing has changed. So it's a ruse to simply discredit me and try to run me out of the race. If they think they can intimidate me, they don't know me. They don't know APM. I'm sorry. People mislead the APM. They don't know me. Nobody can intimidate me or run me out of this race. Never. So they're wasting their time. They better shut up and stop talking about it, because I'm not going to pay any attention to them, and my party is not going to pay any attention to them. So they're wasting their time.
Let's talk about the succession.
Yeah.
Do we have DPP in the absence of APM?
Yes.
We do?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course. Of course. You saw the elections. Last week you were there.
Yes.
You saw the enthusiasm. You saw all those people competing for all those positions, except those that were not contested. But you saw people there, enthusiastic. That's the DPP. DPP is all those people there, the governors, the regional people, and the ordinary people, and others who competed for various positions. Oh yes, oh yes. DPP can exist and has always existed without APM or the Muthalikas.
Because it has always been led by the Muthalikas.
Well, so far, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
far.
why I'm asking that. Do we have the DPP without the Muthalikas?
I think so.
Okay. And what are you doing? You told the convention that this is your last convention.
Correct.
What are you doing in grooming your successor? And who have you earmarked?
Do you think we have to groom our successor? I mean, this is not a kingship. This is not a monarchy. It's a democracy.
Okay.
You can't groom a person. No.
You might have a preferred candidate.
People, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't. People will develop and they'll compete, and the best person will be selected. That's how it works. You don't groom somebody
I thought your late brother groomed you to be the president of this party.
Not at all.
Or he earmarked you, for lack of a better way.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He gave you leeway to...
In what way?
You were the favored ones. That time there was Joyce Banda, there were others. You know the story. You were favored to be the leader.
In what way? In what way?
You know what I'm talking about.
You see, when my brother died,
yeah.
There was an NGC meeting.
Yeah.
There were several candidates there, and the NGC unanimously selected me as acting president. Okay? Then we went to the convention in April 2014, and I competed with Honorable Chimutu Banda, and I defeated him. That's what happened. It don't just hand over to me. There was competition both at the NGC level and also at the convention in 2014, and then I was selected president. Now in 2018, there was no competitor, and in 2024, there was no competitor.
Yeah.
But there have been competition before. In the past, there has been competition.
Yeah, but
it's not like they just put me there and say that select this person. When I competed, the former president was already dead. He wasn't there. He was already dead.
Yeah, but when he was alive, he had given you an upper hand.
In what way?
In making sure that you are more visible and ready for
I don't think so. He merely appointed me a minister, that's all.
That's all what he did?
Yeah, that's what he did.
Okay.
He appointed me a minister. Before that, I was a legal advisor. I appointed me a minister, like everybody else, and that was all.
You have told President Chakwera to pack and go.
Yes.
That's to use your own words.
Okay.
What has he done wrong, and what are you going to do? What things are you going to do differently?
Well, what was done wrong is, I think, to mismanage the country, the economy, and everything else we have discussed before. There's poverty is increasing in this country. Only 9% of the people are employed. 91% unemployment in this country, and all the suffering, and of course, lack of democracy, taking the country back to the one-party system, and the oppression that's happening. People are afraid now to say things. People are afraid to say things. People are afraid we cannot campaign in the central region without being attacked. Each time we go, we're attacked. 2 weeks ago, we sent our people to collect some vehicles that belong to the DPP for those people who left the DPP. And remember the attack at Zimbabwe. So it's this whole atmosphere that has been created by the act of violence and creating fear that has been created by this administration. That's very troubling. And as I said at the convention there, that according to the IMF and the World Bank, the Malawians are the saddest people. People are very happy here. In the index, my saddest country in the world. Now, it's a job of the people to create conditions that will make people happy. That's why in the American Declaration of Independence, 1776, remember they say 3 things: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are key elements that government must pursue. Life, protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Make sure that you create conditions which make people have a happy life. That's the job of the government to do that. The government has failed to do that in this country. People are unhappy in this country. Very, very unhappy, very sad. And that's what we need to change to get away from that. Well, there's so many things I've said. The economy has got to be recharged. Now, and I know the government has adopted the so-called ATM strategy, with agriculture, transport, and the mining. That's good. That's commendable. But they've completely ignored manufacturing. Industrialization. No country can develop without industrialization. If they during the Industrial Revolution, we started in England in the 16th century. They started using the rivers and so forth, put pumps there, create things, fertilizer, use their steams and all those things to develop the country, create, manufacture things, make things. Well, got to start making things in this country for export. You see, because the mining, agriculture, all those things we're going to be doing, they're very much import intensive. They're dependent on importing out of things. Now we need to counteract that by beginning to manufacture things. So we need exporting. We need to look at restructuring the debts. The debt is unacceptable. When we left in 6 years, my government incurred a debt of 2.6 trillion in 6 years. These people in 4 years, 18 trillion. The debt is unmanageable, cannot be managed, cannot be sustained. So the government needs to find a way of, in fact, restructuring that and managing that debt. So that's one aspect. But also look at our resources in this country. The lake, for example, Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi had 400 different species of fish, more than any other country in the world. Everything is here. Tuna fish, salmon, mackerel, scrod, crawfish, whatever. It's here. Salmon. Everything is in here in this country. What we need is, in fact, to develop, find a way to develop our fisheries industry. Develop so that we can fish some of this fish. Some of it is underground. We can't reach it. down to the bottom of the ocean, like scrod and so forth. Those normally at the bottom of the ocean. We need to find, import technology and so forth to get that fish out. Now, with the kind of fishing we have in this country, amount of fish we can export to the rest of the world and make a lot of money out of forex. Now, we're exporting fish from Zambia, exporting fish from other countries. We have no business exporting fish. We have more fish here in the lake than any other country in the world. We cannot do that. We are simply have got milk. The other day I found milk being imported. We have livestock in this country. Why can't we use the cows and the goats in this country, milk them and turn that milk and add value and export some of it, or at least not have to import milk to this country? So those are the things we've got to do. And talking about the lake is the greatest resource in the world. And we can do so much in this country if we can utilize this lake properly, invest in the lake activities, sporting, all sorts of activities on the lake. And that will bring out of people in. So what I'm saying is we need to think, look at our economic policies very carefully, our fiscal policy, and finally, saying about cutting spending also, in addition to borrowing so much, we need to cut spending in a very serious way, as we did during my time. We need to cut spending. We can save a lot of money. We need to stop wasting resources like useless trips, both international and domestic. Both consume a lot of forex. Even domestic ones consume a lot of forex because they are using fuel, and that fuel is being imported, and it's forex. So we need to do that, and I think we need to get away, especially on the import thing, start manufacturing, for example, fertilizer, cement. We should be able to do those in this country. It's importing, but they're very expensive.
But why didn't you do it, all these things you're talking about, when you were in power?
We started.
You started?
Oh, yes, we started. We started negotiations. I personally met Mr. Dangote. I personally met him at St. James Palace in London. We had about 30-minute discussion. I want to bring him here to come and invest in this country in cement. We started negotiations. And on the fertilizer, we started negotiations with the governments, various governments in Morocco. They have so much sulfur there in the Sahara part of it, the Spanish Sahara part of it. And we started negotiations. We're talking with the Taiwanese on fertilizer since Bengu's time. But these things take time. But we started. What I'm saying is we need to start. I'm not saying that these things can be done instantly. Of course not. It takes time. You need to find funding and so forth. But we started in that direction. That's what I'm saying. We're going to start going in that direction. That's what I'm saying.
What is your view on the fertilizer subsidy?
Well, it's a good program. You remember it was started during our time.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was in the room at Ntutama Lodge when we discussed it with Bingu, Guru Gondo, and myself.
Okay.
That was, I think it was August 2014. So we discussed this because how can we end hunger? So we said, okay, let's talk about subsidy. Now the idea was that this ought to be a temporary measure, that the people who get subsidy, they'll grow enough maize so that they'll be able to have some to sell and save money, and they can use that money the following year to buy fertilizer. It wasn't meant to be a perpetual program. To these individuals. That's how we started it. Now it's a very expensive program. It's difficult. We have to find a way of...
Should people elect you managing in 2025 as our leader?
Yes.
Are you going to end it or run with it?
No. We're not planning to end it. We have never planned that way.
Okay.
You can see in our manifesto. But we'll look at it. For example, finding it is very expensive. It's taking almost 80% of the budget of the Department of Agriculture is going to the input program. That's why I was talking about fertilizer, actually starting fertilizer plant in this country. That's why I was negotiating with all these people in all these countries. And what we'll do, I think, is to find a way of setting locally manufactured fertilizer. That's one way. Or also move to other forms of inputs like manure. Before the fertilizer, we used to use manure all over this country. You may not know that because that's a long time ago. There was no fertilizer in those days. This fertilizer thing is very, very recent. We used to use manure and natural forms of adding value to the soil. So we have to look at all those things and so forth. Now, in terms of the assistance, there are other ways of doing it. Maybe to give cash to some people, and they can use that cash to buy their own inputs. There are also alternative ways of doing it, but no, we cannot. Subsidy is not a bad thing. All countries all over the world, the United States, is the biggest subsidier of farmers. I don't know if you knew that. Germany, Japan, heavy subsidy on their farmers. So it's not something that's wrong. Of course, they have the resources, we don't, but we have to find a way of modifying it and maybe give some people just cash and they can buy their own input, and others encouraging better farming, and then they can earn more, and therefore they can use their earnings beyond the food made for consumption. When they sell, they can use their earnings to buy more inputs and so forth. But the important thing is that we need to manufacture fertilizer locally. We cannot continue to import it. We just don't have the money anymore.
Pamene tikumaliza,
Chabwino.
munadandaula kuti you are having difficulties in campaigning ku Central Region chifukwa cha zipongwe zimene mukumalandira.
Right.
Aren't you testing your own medicine? Inonso muli mboma. Simaletsa anthu ena kuchita kampeni.
Timaletsa anthu ife?
Simaletsa.
Kuti?
Anyamata IMCP sana menyedwe.
Kuti?
Ku Blantyre, for example.
Kuchora kuja campaign.
I'm just.
Campaign.
You can stand tall and say your party did not do the same. That's the question that I'm asking.
No, I think I'm missing the point again, Brian.
Yeah.
You see, you're missing the point. I understand maybe there was some violence here.
Yes.
People against other people.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is a policy of stopping other parties from campaigning.
Okay.
4 times that's happened. Twice kuja kumponera.
Yeah.
Anamenya yamada tu. Twice. But instead of arresting those people, they arrested our people. Kuja kumbowe. They know the people. They know the person who brought those trucks. They wouldn't have the driver's license. They know the person. And yet they don't arrest that person. Up to now, they don't arrest those people. And this one last week, instead of arresting the people who attacked the people, we had sent to go to vehicles, they arrested the driver we sent. And later on they released him. Now, I've said this before, Kuti, I think this is wrong. This is second,
yeah, but
Malawi is one country. We all should be allowed to campaign wherever we want to campaign.
Anyamata DPP anaenda matauni mundizi kwanje.
Anybody is blind. Zachary.
What does it mean?
You're clinging to that a long time ago. Just one incident. It was a long time ago, before I even became president.
Okay.
I think it was 2009 or something. Yeah, entire campaign. Yeah. And we condemned that, remember?
Okay.
Even them condemned that. That's one incident.
Okay.
So some that incident.
Okay.
But on a more serious note, I think that the idea of violence, stopping people from campaigning or threatening people, intimidating people, is not a good one. And when the government decides not to arrest those people that they know, in all those 3 instances, they know 2 in Ponela and then the one at Mbowe, they know the people.
When are you?
But I have decided not to arrest them.
When are you kick-starting your 2025 campaign?
I don't know. It's a year now. I mean,
It's a year now.
You can campaign for a year. In fact, actually, it's ironic because normally you don't have conventions this early.
Okay.
It's just the circumstances. Normally we have conventions when you used to have elections in May.
Okay.
We used to have conventions in April.
Okay.
Yeah, about 90 days before,
Okay.
and have a candidate. But to select somebody a year or before the election, it's not a very good thing in my view.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen. Look at the Americans. They just have their convention now. In July they had the Republicans. The Democrats are doing it now.
Yeah.
And they're only 60 days before the election. So there are 2 months. On October the election, the first Tuesday in November. So it's less than 2 months. Come if you come 1 year with a candidate, I don't think it's sensible. But it does happen. Huh? Exactly. It's very expensive. It's going to be a very, very difficult situation because this has never happened before.
Do you have?
But it has happened, so we'll just see how we manage it.
Do you have the financial muscle to run a successful campaign?
Yes.
Where will you get the money?
Well, we'll get money from well-wishers.
And who are your well-wishers?
Well. I can't tell you our well-wishers. Huh? I can't tell you that.
You can't tell me your well-wishers?
No, of course not. We get support like all other political parties, whether in here or in America. And we do fundraising also. You notice we've done 2 fundraisers so far. We did one at the Mount Search Hotel last year in April, I remember. The night before Friday, remember we did that, and we did the last one on July 13th at Page House. So we're doing fundraising, and we'll continue to do fundraising. And from that, we also have a system. We're asking people to send money through TNM and also through Airtel. And money is coming. Small donation, $20, $200, $500. People can send anything they can afford. So that's happened. So money is coming in. A lot of money is coming in now. So we'll be able to finance the campaign. I have absolute no doubt.
You have no doubt?
No. What do that?
We wish we had more time. We have to leave it there. But what would be your concluding remarks to the supporters of your party?
My supporters?
Yes.
First of all, I want to thank them very much.
And Malawians in general.
And Malawians, my supporters, thank them very much for showing this confidence, to have given me the opportunity to serve this country before, and now opportunity to serve this country again. I'm very, very grateful. I feel blessed now for the rest of the country. Let me say that I think it's very important as we go to the election that we should sober up and do this properly and not necessarily create tension. I tell you what, just as I was coming, and I've forwarded to you.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a clip. The clip, the video, there are about 10 girls, aged between 4 and 6 years old. And they're obviously from I think from my central region. They are dancing, a certain kind of dance. I don't know whether it's in Ghana or whatever, but they clap hands and sort of go dance and come back and so forth in a circle. But anyway, so they're doing that. But listen to the words. Agote, Atakwera, Abwino, Apita, Oipa. And these are 6-year-olds, which means Chakwera is a good person, APM is a bad person. Obviously, somebody has sealed this into their brains. And these are 4 to 6-year-olds. I sent you the clip. You look at it. It's very sad. It is very sad that we have reached that point in this country. I don't know who is behind it, but I don't think any job or getting in power is worth ruining, poisoning the minds of these small children. It's pathetic. And whoever has done this Shame on them. They better stop it. I think they're doing disservice to this country. So my last words is, let's campaign peacefully, cordially. This sort of war is competition. And let the will of the people prevail. Whoever the people select, that people should govern. And also, let's stop this rigging process. You have seen the numbers. You have seen them come out today. Ridiculous. What has happened in the central region. Totally ridiculous. Rates 3,000%. And you go to show 12%, 20%. It's pathetic that somebody is trying to destroy the democratic system by deliberately manipulating the figures, the registration figures. And that's a shame. That's a shame. I think we need to stop this. I don't think there's any job on earth that's so important that we have to reduce ourselves to this kind of behavior. So my last words on to Malayans would be, let's take a deep breath, calm down, and let's compete fairly and friendly. We're all Malawians. At the end of the day, we're all Malawians, and this is our country, and let's not ruin it. Thank you.
Your Excellency, we want to thank you most kindly for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Well, on that note, we conclude this week's edition of Times Exclusive here on Times Television. In this edition of the program, I was honored to have His Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Malawi, His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Muthalika, who is now a torchbearer for the Democratic Progressive Party after the 2024 National Convention endorsed him. My name is Brian Banda, from all of us here in Blantyre, thanking you for joining us, and goodbye.